Hello, it's the cat ass scratching show. Beat the Bush here. And today I'd like to talk to you about. I just like messing around. Okay, so this is the fourth video because it's January 4th and I'm really tired. I had to fly all day. I'm now back in California. And since I did such a bad job at changing the screen when I was using that screencast software, I decided for this one I was just going to use a camera because at least now something moves. And I had planned on this video being the egg calculation. How much do you need to stop working? But after thinking about it more, I decided no, I'm going to talk about net worth again. That was boring. Why? Because I think that it's really important to repeat things that matter. I hated repeating things when I was in high school. That doesn't sound good. No, but like if I did like a poetry reading or something, I hated reading the same story twice or whatever. And I guess the story to poetry reading, what the hell? Anyhow, in my old age, I have come to learn that repetition is the mother of study. Well, that was also in my high school Latin class. There are certain boring but important subjects that to really grasp and incorporate into our lives, we have to repeat. And so I've become more satisfied rereading books that I didn't fully understand the first time through, because I find that after I do it, 2-3 times, I do actually understand the subject at that point, and I feel a sense of accomplishment and growth that if everything was easy and I only read it once, I couldn't get. So to give this thing a little bit more shape than the last one, I really wanted to come up with a comparison between net worth and income that would be elegant and simple and easy to remember, and I haven't come up with anything that I'm satisfied with yet. And so to give you something practical, I decided I'm just going to tell you some of the rules that I have for myself around net worth and what my reasoning is behind them. All right, so rule number 1 is net worth must always be going up forever, even in retirement, even in bad times. This rule implies that A, I'm always going to be contributing to it. B, I'm not going to draw it down once I do stop taking an income from a job. And C, if the market falls, I'm going to try to earn a lot of money. I'm going to try to earn as much money as I can while the market's falling. And this is because when the market's falling, that means that the discount's on. It's time to buy some cheap stocks. And so it's a really good time to earn a lot of money and purchase equities, because in the long run, those will give you some of the best returns of your lifetime if you can purchase them during a recession, which, that's a motivation to kind of sell the condo that I have, because we have the longest bull market in the last 100 years right now, and I don't have a lot of cash on the side to take advantage of a crash that's, statistically speaking, almost for sure coming. I just have a pretty good job. So then I have an argument with myself about trying to time the market, and I also have an argument with myself about the importance of separating your lifestyle, your insurance, your safety, your emotional stability with your investments. And I tend to want to compartmentalize all this stuff. I tend to want to check all the boxes in terms of I will have food, I will have shelter, I will have water, and so forth. And then completely separate from that, manage my net worth building investments. For me, that's really difficult because the Bay Area housing market's done so well that the condo is way too much of my net worth. It's an inappropriately large percentage of the net worth. And so that alarms me, but I also believe in buy and hold strategies. So I haven't made up my mind there. I want to leave a foundation or something when I die, so even in retirement, net worth continues to go up. So net worth always goes up. That also means that I can't pursue investment strategies that have unlimited downside. I'm not going to gamble everything on one stock. I'm always going to hedge whatever my investment is so that there's limited downside and, well, hopefully unlimited upside. But just there's less possible downside, bigger possible upside. That's what I want. My number 2 rule is I exclude from my net worth any asset that I expect to decrease in value. So, for example, my car. When I began measuring this stuff, I didn't have a lot, and so adding the car in there made me feel better about my net worth. But because I know that the car is going to go down in value every year, including that number in my net worth to inflate it, even though its contribution in future years is going to be going down, I don't think that's productive. Because what I'm really trying to measure when I look at my net worth is it's a scorecard of like, how well am I doing? Of the stuff that I plan to grow, how well is it growing? And I need the car to get to work anyway. So, I don't blame anybody who includes the car in their net worth. I'm just glad you're doing the calculation. But for me, I'm pretty strict with myself. I've also removed the condo value from my net worth when I do my weekly check-ins, monthly check-ins. And that's because I live here. And the market value is very subjective, and even if you pick like Zillow's market estimate, it's so volatile and it's such a large percentage of the portfolio that it really dominates what's going on. And so it's hard to tell what's going on with the actual investments when one of them is huge and you can't liquidate it like easily, quickly. I mean, technically, yeah, I could. Like, housing market's really good right now. Like, I could get out of here in 2 weeks probably and sell it. But it would be a big disruption. And the point is, I want to focus on the things I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to flip San Jose real estate. I'm not trying to sell collectibles that I bought several years ago for a big profit. I mean, I'll sell them. I don't think I'll get a profit. I'll probably lose a little bit of money. But point is, I don't include any of that stuff in my net worth. I try to be very strict and honest with myself about where I am in terms of like the actual investments that would produce income in retirement. My third rule is I keep my net worth in a small number of investments that I can understand. And that doesn't mean that they're not well diversified. For example, I own shares of VTI. That's the Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF. And there are about 3,624 companies in that exchange-traded fund. So I don't know each of those 3,624 companies, but VTI as a fund has a long track record that I can look back and I can look at their returns together in aggregate over a long period of time, and that gives me more confidence. So I keep it in a small number of things because I want to have a portfolio that I have time to understand each part of it with some depth. And I also I want the confidence that comes with that depth so that when the market goes down, I can point to it and say, oh, this is one of those. I've already read about that. I don't have to worry about it. And I can still feel like, I knew that this was a possibility, and it's in line with how I expect this small number of things that I understand to perform. And so I'm not going to sell because I'm not freaked out. I get what's going on. And I find that's helpful in financial life in general. It's better to reduce the number of things you're thinking about always. And so if I can pay something on an annual basis or a monthly basis, I pay it on an annual basis simply because I don't want that one extra thing to think about on a monthly basis. I'd rather think about it once a year. Um, Next rule is I keep my net worth in projects that generate real value. This means that when I own a stock, I want to own that stock because it's a dairy farm and it makes milk and people like milk and they drink milk. Or it's a company that's producing a valuable good or service for people. I don't want to buy things just because I think someone else will buy it later. That's why I don't own any Bitcoin, because I strongly believe that in the long run, companies that are connected to the real world and doing productive things for real people will win over, um, penny stocks that are pumped and dumped. Next rule is I keep my fixed costs low to protect the net worth. And let me be clear about this. That doesn't mean that I don't have nice things. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to purchase nice things. What it means is that I will not purchase nice things that have high recurring ongoing costs, because I don't want a recession to come and have a car where tires are $2,400 and have to sell, a depreciated asset to buy some $2,400 tires. And it's a personal thing, I guess. I don't know. I think most people could be happy, certainly living at the spending level that I'm at. But that's a net worth related rule. Is I can buy something that's that's nice. That's $20,000. If I have net worth of $1 million, I can buy something that's $20,000 speaker system. It's really nice, but it doesn't have a high ongoing cost. I don't depend upon it to go to work. So if it breaks, well, that's really sad. But I don't have to fix it immediately. And there's certainly no monthly bill on it. So I can have nice things as long as there are these one-time costs, and I can make them strategically at times when I know that my assets are more inflated, the market's done well. I get to choose when that money goes out, and control any later liabilities. And the final rule I put on here is, and this is, I don't know, this is maybe like light at the end of the tunnel kind of rule, is I pick a number where if I hit that number in terms of net worth, yahoo, then I will go out and buy something that I've been wanting the whole time, probably a set of speakers. I've probably said this before. For me, that number is $1 million. If I hit $1 million, I'll go out and buy a really nice speaker system. Probably won't buy anything else. Again, rule number 1, the net worth must always be going up. So for that year, I'm going to have an increased net worth. So if it's a bad year, speakers aren't happening. But if it's a good year, speakers are happening. I can feel good about buying them. I've, thought about this. And, it doesn't have to be $1 million. It could be $2 million. It could be $5 million. And, this is your vacation condo. And I would say probably once you get to $1 million and anything above, you can do 10% into something nice. And something nice that you can hopefully sell for roughly the same amount. Now, obviously, the speaker's going to sell for less, but if you wanted to buy a vacation condo, retirement condo, beach condo, whatever, you can usually sell those at, as long as you didn't get ripped off on it, at something close to what you bought it for. And, $1 million down to $900,000, you're still going to be fine. $2 million down to $1.8 million, you're still going to be fine. $3 million down, and so on. Like, you're going to be fine as long as it's less than 10% of your net worth tied up in this nice thing. And I guess the final thing I've got written down here is a concept I thought of earlier that I'm not completely satisfied with being all-encompassing, but I think it's really important to remember, and that's that your net worth has a momentum. It has this characteristic where once you hit certain magic numbers, your spending decisions begin to matter less. Like, I had a friend today who was talking about somebody else, and they said, yeah, he's got a net worth of about 500,000 in stocks, and he doesn't really feel like buying property. And I thought it, and I was like, yep, this guy is an engineer who travels the world. And when you have $500,000 in investments, the loss that you suffer paying for rent, it's still bad. It's still a loss, but it doesn't matter as much because that 500,000 is already generating money because it's invested. And so you don't have to care so much about whether you're renting or whether you own your property. You don't have to care so much about going out to eat once you hit certain magic net worth numbers, because it just becomes very difficult to outspend the income provided by those invested assets. And invested assets, on average, will print money until the sun explodes. Ha ha ha! I said sun explodes. Income, though, income goes away as soon as you stop earning it. So it's actually pretty fragile, and there are a ton of reasons why your income can go away. Well-diversified net worth, it's going to take a lot to wipe it out. It's a lot more durable. And that's why we care about net worth, and we only care about income in terms of its ability to... Here's another point. Now that I think about it, I thought about this yesterday, is that with net worth, there are a lot of different knobs that you can change and move and learn about to optimize the net worth, to either optimize the cash flow coming from it, or optimize the taxes associated with it, or optimize the total amount of growth per year, or whatever it is that you're trying to maximize depending upon where you are in your life and what you want from that big egg. You've got a lot of different decisions to make and a lot of options and things to do. Income, not so much. You get a check in the mail. If you want to increase it, maybe you can ask for a raise. In Silicon Valley, a lot of times that doesn't work all that well. Instead, you have to go out and find a different job. Now your commute changes, gets complicated. Market downturn. If you're on commission, maybe your sales drop. Or maybe, you're just laid off because the company's not doing well. Net worth does not have the same kinds of problems. Yeah, net worth decreases when the market drops, but if you have a dividend portfolio, you're still getting those payments, and maybe the payments dropped in their amount, but they didn't go to zero. So because these companies are still productive, people still have to eat cheese during a recession. They like cheese. Yeah. So yeah, net worth is great. Study net worth, think about net worth, make a plan to have a constantly increasing net worth, and then think about what rules you might have around it. What would they be, and why would they be what they are? Okay. Signing off. This will be the 4th video, and I still don't have a catchy sign-off thing. Oh, please like if you liked it, or share it, or follow me. I don't have a catchy fast way of saying that either. Okay. Have a good night. I'm tired.